Let me tell you something that most men will never say out loud, but secretly, they wish you knew. See, men love to act like they've got it all figured out in the bedroom, right? They walk around with that energy of, I'm the one in charge. I know exactly what I'm doing. But here's the real truth. And once you understand this, it will completely shift the way you see intimacy when it comes to what really drives him crazy. When it comes to what makes him want you over every other woman, it's not about how you look in lingerie or even how flexible you are. It's about how you move. Yes, I'm talking about how you thrust. Now, before you blush or overthink it, let me remind you of this. He is not craving some picture perfect movie scene performance. Men don't want robotic moves or routines. What they're hungry for is you, the raw, confident, playful, unpredictable you. The way you lean into the moment. The way your body tells him without words, I want you, and I'm not afraid to show it. Here's the part no one tells you. Men may not put it into words, but they are deeply affected by the way a woman takes control in those moments. And when you know how to move, when you know how to thrust in a way that makes him feel desired, teased, and completely consumed, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him an experience that sticks in his memory long after the lights are out. And let me be very clear about this, because I know so many women put unnecessary pressure on themselves. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to copy what you saw in a movie or compare yourself to anyone else. What you need is confidence, variety, and a willingness to play with the rhythm. Because the truth is, when you understand how he actually wants you to thrust, when you lean into what he secretly craves, you stop being just another partner. You become unforgettable. And today, I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. The 5 ways men truly want you to thrust, so you don't just excite him, you completely own him. Let's dive into the first secret, and this one is powerful because most women either skip it or completely underestimate it. The truth is, when it comes to intimacy, men don't actually want you to start at full speed. Think about it when you're watching a movie. The director doesn't begin with the biggest explosion or the final kiss in the first 2 minutes. No, there's a build up, there's tension, there's anticipation. And that's exactly what makes the climax worth waiting for. It's the same in the bedroom. When you begin slow thrusts, slow movements, you're telling him, I'm in control and I'm not rushing this. You're teasing his body, but more importantly, you're teasing his mind, and men live for that. They may not admit it, but deep down, he loves being put in that space where he's almost begging for more. Here's what usually happens. Many women think they need to impress him right away. They start moving quickly, thinking it shows passion. But here's the secret. Going slow is often way more powerful than going fast, because when you're slow, you're unpredictable. You're building desire like turning up a dimmer switch instead of flicking a light on and off. Imagine this, you're on top of him, you lean in close, your body just barely pressing against his. Instead of bouncing quickly, you move with this delicious, drawn-out rhythm, making him feel every second of you. You look him in the eyes, maybe whisper something playful in his ear, and you stay in control of the pace. Do you know what happens in that moment? His entire body tenses, his breath gets heavier, and his brain is screaming, oh my God, don't stop. That's the power of starting slow. Now, here's why this works on a psychological level. Men are used to chasing. They're wired for pursuit. So when you go slow, you're giving him something to chase, even in the middle of intimacy. He feels like he's on the edge of getting everything he wants, but you're making him wait. And in that waiting, his attraction and arousal multiply. Think about food for a second. If you sit down to a meal and devour it in 2 minutes, sure, you might feel satisfied, but the experience is gone before you even enjoyed it. But when you savor it, when you take your time with each bite, it becomes memorable. You actually want more. Sex works the same way. Slow thrusts make him savor you. They make the whole experience feel 10 times more intoxicating. And here's the best part, slowing down doesn't just turn him on. It empowers you. It puts you in charge of the rhythm, the intensity, the energy. You're no longer just reacting to his movements, you're leading. And that shift is incredibly sexy. When you show him that you're not afraid to take the wheel, it communicates confidence. And ladies, men are addicted to that confidence. So here's a little technique to try. Next time, instead of jumping into a steady rhythm pause, start with a single slow thrust. Pull back, wait a few seconds, give him that look. The one that says, I know exactly what I'm doing to you. Then lean in again, slow, deliberate. Switch between moving, pausing, circling your hips. That variety keeps him hooked. And the slow pace will make every single movement feel like a gift. And don't underestimate the emotional impact of this. When you slow down, you're not just pleasing his body, you're connecting with him. You're telling him, I want you to feel this moment. I want you to remember this. That's when intimacy becomes more than physical. It becomes unforgettable. So remember this, ladies, before you give him the intensity, give him the tease. Start slow, make him wait, and watch how his entire body and mind falls under your spell. Now, ladies, let's move on to something that separates a good experience from a mind-blowing one. And it's not about knowing some secret move you saw in a movie. It's about one simple thing, rhythm. Here's the truth: nothing kills passion faster than monotony. If you do the same thing at the same speed with the same rhythm over and over again, it doesn't matter how great you look, he'll eventually tune out. Men crave variety. They crave unpredictability. It's what keeps their brain engaged and their body desperate for more. Think of it like dancing. If someone is dancing to the beat, but every single step looks identical, you'd get bored watching after 30 seconds. But if they mix it up, slowing down, spinning, adding little pauses, you can't take your eyes off them. Intimacy is no different. If you keep the rhythm shifting, you'll have him mesmerized. So, what does this actually look like? Imagine you're with him, and instead of moving at one consistent pace, you change it up. You start slow, then pick up the tempo for just a few moments, then pause, hold the moment, let him feel that tension build, and then surprise him by switching directions or rolling your hips. Unpredictability keeps him completely locked into you. He doesn't know what's coming next, and that mystery makes him crave you on a whole new level. Here's the magic of rhythm shifts they play with his senses. When you go fast, his body gets excited. When you suddenly slow down, his mind panics a little. It's like, wait, where did that go? That push and pull is addictive. It's like giving him a taste of something incredible, then pulling it away just enough to make him chase harder. And let's not forget, this is not about perfection. You don't need to choreograph it like a dance routine. In fact, the beauty of it is in the imperfection. It's in the playful chaos. It's in the way you move naturally, then surprise him with a shift he wasn't expecting. That's what makes it feel real raw and magnetic. Here's an example. Let's say you're riding him. Instead of bouncing with the same speed for minutes, try this. Give him 10 seconds of slow, deep movement, 20 seconds of quicker, playful thrusts, then stop suddenly. Hold him there, lean in and whisper something like, "You want more, don't you?" That tease alone will send his brain into overdrive. Mixing rhythms also lets you express different sides of yourself. When you go slow, you're saying, "I'm savoring this, I'm in control." When you go faster, you're saying, "I want you badly." When you pause completely, you're saying, "I know you can't stand waiting, and I love making you wait." Each rhythm communicates a different layer of desire, and together they create an experience he'll never forget. On a psychological level, this works because men's brains are wired to respond to novelty. When something is new or unpredictable, dopamine, the chemical of excitement, floods their system. So when you mix up your rhythm, you're literally triggering his brain to associate you with excitement, thrill, and pleasure. Now, here's a little pro tip. Let your rhythm changes sync with your expressions and your voice. When you slow down, make eye contact. When you speed up, let yourself moan louder or breathe heavier. When you pause, smile at him like you know exactly what you're doing. The combination of rhythm plus expression creates a full body experience for him, one that's not just physical, but deeply emotional. Ladies, here's the bottom line. Rhythm is your power. It's how you keep him engaged, how you keep him guessing, and how you make every single encounter feel like something brand new. If you mix it up, slow, fast, pause, circle, tease, you won't just give him pleasure, you'll give him obsession. And trust me, that's what keeps him coming back, not just for the intimacy, but for you. All right, ladies, now this is the one that changes everything, because you can master technique, you can mix up your rhythm, you can even go slow to build suspense. But if you don't bring this piece into the bedroom, it's like making a beautiful cake and forgetting the sugar. And that piece is confidence. Now, let me be very real with you. Most women underestimate just how much confidence turns a man on. We've been conditioned to think men only care about the physical, your body, your curves, your skin. But what actually drives him wild isn't just what he sees, it's what he feels from you. And nothing is sexier than a woman who moves like she knows she deserves to be adored. Think about it this way. Imagine two women. One is stunning, but she's hesitant. She looks away. She seems nervous, almost apologetic in the way she moves. The other may not even look like a model, but she's bold, she's present, she leans in, she touches him like she owns the moment. Guess which one he remembers? Always the second, always the confident one. Confidence in intimacy doesn't mean you need to know every move. It means you own the moves you choose. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about sending the message, I am enjoying this. I am not afraid to take what I want, and I know you love it when I do. Here's a little secret: men are incredibly sensitive to your energy. If you're second guessing yourself, overthinking every thrust, he can feel it. But when you're locked into your body, when you look him in the eyes, when you arch your back because it feels good, not because you think you should, he feels that authenticity, and that authenticity is magnetic. So how do you show confidence when you're thrusting? First, use your eye contact. Look at him. Hold his gaze. You don't have to stare like a statue, but those moments where your eyes meet while you're moving, those are the moments he remembers. It tells him, I'm not just doing this. I'm with you. I see you. I want this. Second, use your body with intention. Don't just move mechanically. Run your hands over him. Press your chest into him. Use the weight of your body to communicate closeness. Confidence isn't about doing 10 different moves. It's about making every single move feel deliberate. Third, bring in your voice. Confidence lives in your sounds. A moan, a whisper, even just breathing heavier when it feels good. These are signals that tell him you're present and unapologetic. And let me tell you, nothing makes a man feel more desired than knowing his woman isn't holding back. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but Matthew, what if I don't feel confident? Here's the trick. You don't wait until you feel it. You step into it. You embody it. Sometimes confidence doesn't come first. The action does. The moment you lean in, kiss him deeper, move slower than he expects, or give him a playful smile when you thrust, you'll see the reaction on his face, and that reaction will fuel your confidence. It's a loop. Here's a story for you. I once had a client who told me I feel so awkward on top, like I'm being judged. And I asked her, have you ever considered that he's not judging you at all? That he's just mesmerized that you're even there, taking control? A week later, she came back and said, Matthew, you were right. The moment I stopped worrying about looking perfect and started owning my movements, my man looked at me like I was the only woman on earth. That's the power of confidence. Because at the end of the day, confidence isn't about flawless moves, it's about energy. It's about saying through your body, I'm worth this moment. I deserve to be worshipped. And I'm not afraid to take what I want. And ladies, when you thrust with that kind of confidence, you don't just turn him on. You make him addicted to the feeling of being with you. And that's the kind of connection no other woman can replace. Here's where a lot of women get it wrong. When they think about intimacy, when they think about thrusting, they lock in on one thing, the hips. They focus only on that one back and fourth motion. And while, yes, matters, it's not the whole picture, because the truth is your hips alone are not what makes you unforgettable. What makes him lose his mind is when you bring your whole body into the experience. Think about it. Your body is this incredible instrument. And if you're only playing one note, you're missing the entire melody. The hips may be the beat, but your chest, your back, your lips, your hands, your breath, those are the harmony. That's what creates the kind of intimacy that doesn't just feel good for him, but feels electric for both of you. So what does it mean to use your whole body? Let's break it down. When you're on top, it's not just about going up and down. It's about leaning forward, that letting your chest press against his so he feels your heartbeat racing against his. It's about arching your back and letting him see your body fully on display. It's about using your hands to hold his arms down, to grab his shoulders, or to gently stroke his face. Each of those movements tells him something powerful. I'm not just here to give you pleasure. I'm here to completely consume you. Here's something most women don't realize. Men are incredibly visual creatures. Yes, love the physical sensation, but they also crave the sight of you moving with all of yourself. When you involve your whole body, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him a show. And the best part, it's a show that feels completely natural, because it's not about faking, it's about being fully present in the moment. Now, let's talk about energy transfer. When you only move your hips, the experience stays localized. But when your chest presses against him, when your arms wrap around him, when your lips brush against his neck, when your breath quickens against his ear, you're enveloping him in your energy, you're surrounding him, making him feel like there's no escape from you. And trust me, he doesn't want one. Here's an analogy. Imagine listening to a band where only the drummer is playing. The beat is nice, but after a while, it gets flat. Now imagine the guitar comes in, then the bass, then the singer. Suddenly it's alive. That's what happens when you bring your whole body into intimacy. It goes from flat to unforgettable. And don't forget, your voice is part of your body too. The little moans, the soft sighs, even whispering his name, all of it is part of that full body experience. It's not just about thrusting. It's about creating an atmosphere where every sense, touch, sight, sound is fully activated. Here's a little scenario. Picture yourself moving slowly, hips rocking, but instead of focusing only there, you run your hands over his chest, down his sides, across his face. You lean down, your lips graze his ear, and you whisper something playful. Suddenly, it's not just sex, it's an entire world he's stepping into, a world where every inch of you is speaking to every inch of him. The key here is presence. When you use your whole body, you're telling him, I'm not checked out. I'm here. I'm in this moment with you, and I'm pouring all of me into you. That is what creates emotional connection, not just physical pleasure. And that, ladies, is the difference between being good in bed and being unforgettable in bed. So don't limit yourself. Don't think thrusting is only about the hips. Use your chest, your hands, your breath, your lips, your voice. Wrap him up in all of you. Because when you do, you're not just giving him your body, you're giving him an experience. And that's what he'll crave again and again. Let's talk about the final secret, one that takes everything we've covered and ties it together into something magnetic. Because here's the truth, you can be confident, you can move slow, you can mix up rhythms, you can use your whole body. But if you miss this last piece, it can feel disconnected. What really makes a man feel like you're the woman he can't get out of his head is when you sync with his energy. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm talking about the rhythm, the flow, the unspoken communication that happens when your bodies are moving together. It's that moment where you're not just two people in the same space, you're in tune with each other. It feels less like a performance and more like a dance. And when you sync with him, he doesn't just feel pleasure, he feels seen, matched, and deeply connected. Think of it this way, intimacy is a conversation without words. If you've ever been in a conversation where the other person just talks over you, never listening, it feels exhausting. But when someone listens, mirrors your tone, adds to what you're saying, you feel understood. That's exactly what syncing with his energy does. It tells him, I hear you, I feel you, and I'm with you in this moment. Here's how this plays out physically. If he speeds up, match him for a while. Let him feel like you're riding the same wave. If he slows down, slow with him. That mirroring creates harmony, and harmony is addictive. But here's where it gets fun. You don't just follow, you play with it. Maybe you match his energy for a bit, then shift it just slightly. Go slower than him. Pause when he's expecting you to keep going. That playful back and forth creates electricity. Men love this because it's not just physical, it's primal. When you sync with his energy, you're saying, I understand your body. I understand your rhythm, I get you. And for a man, that level of attunement feels intoxicating. He's not just turned on, he's emotionally bonded to you. Here's something powerful. Syncing with his energy also makes you feel more in control because you're not just moving blindly, you're reading him. You're noticing his breath, his sounds, his tension. You're responding to him. And when you can read a man like that, he feels not just desired, but completely understood. And ladies, that's rare. Here's a little scenario for you. Imagine he's moving fast, full of passion, and instead of just trying to keep up, you match him for a few moments, then you suddenly slow it down, forcing him to follow your pace. That shift creates a push-pull dynamic where sometimes you're the follower, sometimes you're the leader, and that balance, that dance, is what keeps the moment electric. On a psychological level, this works because men, like women, crave connection. Yes, they want the thrill, the physical high, but what makes them addicted is the sense that you two are in sync. That feeling of, she knows me, she gets me, we're one right now. It's rare and it's unforgettable. Now, I know some women worry, what if I can't read him perfectly? Let me ease your mind. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to predict every move. You just have to pay attention. Notice his breathing. Notice when his grip tightens. Notice the little sounds he makes. These are clues, and when you respond even just a little, he'll feel it. So here's the takeaway. Sensing with his energy doesn't mean being passive. It means being aware. It means choosing to move with him sometimes and then leading him into your rhythm other times. It's a balance, a dance, a conversation. And when you master it, you don't just create pleasure, you create intimacy. And ladies, that's what men crave most. Not just the thrill of the moment, but the sense that he's with a woman who feels him, matches him, and knows how to dance with his energy. That's what makes him think about you long after, and that's what makes him want only you. Ladies, here's the truth you now know. Intimacy isn't about doing more tricks or about being perfect or about putting pressure on yourself to live up to some fantasy. It's about connection, rhythm, and confidence. When you start slow, you create anticipation that drives him wild. When you mix up your rhythm, you keep him on edge, desperate for more. When you show your confidence, you don't just move his body, you move his mind. When you use your whole body, you give him an experience that surrounds him completely. And when you sync with his energy, you create that magical feeling of being in tune, like a dance only the two of you know. And that's what makes you unforgettable. That's what makes him addicted, not just to the experience, but to you. So let me leave you with this. Stop worrying about being flawless and start focusing on being present, because a man doesn't remember perfection. He remembers the woman who owned her movements, owned her energy, and made him feel like he was the only man on earth. If this spoke to you and you want to keep learning the secrets of attraction, intimacy, and how men really think, then hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with a friend who deserves to know her power. Because remember, your body isn't just something he gets to experience, it's something he gets to worship. And when you own that, you don't just please him, you own his heart.